By the late 1960s, Angus Wynn and his team of developers had already opened 2 theme parks in the United States. The first being Six Flags Over Texas in the beautiful city of Arlington in 1961, which ended up being a huge f***ing success. So they decided to do something that had never been done before, and open a second property, and thus becoming the first multi-park theme park corporation in the United States. And they did just that, and 6 years later opened their second park, Six Flags Over Georgia, about 20 minutes west of Atlanta in a town called Austell. And that also being a huge success. So this being America, you try to make more money with the money you've already made. And that's what these crazy son of just went on to do. And they purchased 500 acres of land in a town called Eureka, Missouri, about 30 miles west of St. Louis. And on July 16, 1969, it was announced to the general public that they would indeed be opening a third Six Flags park. Now this park would be slightly different than the other two in a couple different aspects. First, the park would be designed by Six Flags themselves as opposed to Texas and Georgia, which they brought in famous theme park designer Randall Duell to come in and take care of that task. And second, it would be fully owned and operated by Six Flags, unlike the other 2 parks which had some outside ownership. The park took 2 years to construct, and on June 5, 1971, Six Flags Over Mid-America opened to the general public. The park was originally split up into 6 themed areas. Missouri, the first area you saw when you came through the main gates, France, Spain, England, the United States of America, and Old Chicago. Some of the opening year attractions included an aerodynamics mine train called the River King Mine Train, which was actually 2 tracks that were side by side, an aero log flume called Log Flume, a water-based dark ride called Injun Joe's Cave, which today its name would be considered offensive, but hey, it was a different time. The Skyway, an aerial transportation ride giving guests a view of the entire park. The Mississippi Adventure, which was a limp version of Disney's Jungle Cruise. A petting zoo called Pet-a-Pet, and the Moon Antique Cars. The opening year turned out to be a regional success, and the following year we got 2 new rides, a carousel and Tom's Twister, a chance rotor. The park kind of remained idle after that for 4 years, but that's because they were saving up for a doozy. And in 1976, the park received Screamin' Eagle, a PTC wood monster standing 110 feet tall, and at the time of its opening was the tallest and fastest wood roller coaster in the world. Still operating today? It's a great ride and an absolute classic. The following year saw the park receive a Schwarzkopf enterprise called the Highland Fling. In 1978, the park received a 250-foot tall Intamin Paratower, known as Sky Shooter. The following year saw Injun Joe's Cave get rethemed to Time Tunnel, and the addition of a haunted house and a motion simulator called Action Factory. The first year of the 1980s saw a pirate ship added to the park called the Buccaneer. 1981 saw the removal of the Skyway. Also, the park got its first roller coaster that went upside down in an Anton Schwarzkopf looping star model known as Jet Scream. 1982 saw a lot of go down as we saw the closure and removal of the Mississippi Adventure, the Haunted House, and the Sky Shooter, which the latter was moved to Six Flags Great Adventure, where it still operates today as Parachute Training Center, Edwards Air Force Base, Jump Tower, what a horrible name for a ride. Also that year we saw Kiki and the Nuts corporate shakeup, as Penn Central, who owned all the Six Flags parks at the time, sold them all to Bally Manufacturing. In the park's first year under the new ownership of Bally Manufacturing, they renamed the Carousel to Grand Ole Carousel. Okay, they did do something significant that year. They added Thunder River, an Intamin Rapids attraction, which is still in operation today. 1984 saw the River King Mine Train get a complete rehash, as we saw the original cars for the coaster removed, and put on it was a new concept, kind of a novelty at the time, known as stand-up trains, and the coaster was renamed Railblazer. The Railblazer concept only lasted 1 year, and the following year it was reverted back to its original form. Also that year, we saw Bally Manufacturing purchase Great America from Marriott's in Gurnee, Illinois. And coming with that purchase, all the Six Flags parks now had licensing use for the Looney Tunes characters. And that was put to good use the following year with the addition of a new kids area, Looney Tunes Town. Also 1985 was the final year of the petting zoo, Pet-a-Pet. But that area was to get reused in 1986 for the addition of a 186-foot tall Ferris wheel that kind of doubles as an observation ride as well. Kind of the park's visual centerpiece, still in operation today. I enjoy hitting Colossus anytime I'm at this park. Also, 1986 saw the closure of the Time Tunnel attraction. Now, 1987, we saw Bally Manufacturing say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore, and sold all the Six Flags properties to Westray Capital Corporation. 1988, we saw 1.5 removals from the park, as one of the tracks for the River King Mine Train was removed to make way for something bigger and better. It was sold to Dollywood, where it was renamed Thunder Express, and later on sold to Magic Springs and Crystal Falls in Hot Springs, Arkansas, where it still operates today as Big Bad John. And the other one was Jetstream, where this ride actually stayed in the Six Flags family and was relocated to Six Flags Astro World, where it operated as Viper. It was closed in 2005, along with that park. Also that year, we saw the debut of Fright Fest in the park, Six Flags' annual Halloween extravaganza, still going strong to this day. 1989 saw the addition of a Vekoma MK1200. Coming over from Expo 86 in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, the park received Ninja, which a lot of people bash on, but I actually kind of enjoyed. I don't think it's that bad of a ride. 1991 saw a Hopkins Shoot the Chutes added to the back of the park in Tidal Wave. Also that year, we saw Time Warner take over financial control of all the Six Flags parks from Westray Capital, definitely changing the landscape of the Six Flags properties. By 1993, the park really began shedding its opening day skin, and the park began the process of slowly taking on the visual aspect of what the park looks like today. And that began with the addition of a new area in Gateway to the West, awkwardly running the entire width of the park right through the middle. Just super awkward looking. The first time I had sex was less awkward than the shape of this area. Also that year, we saw the France area get rethemed to Château's Market, and also the Great Britain area was lazily renamed England. But that only lasted a year. In the following year, 1994, it was renamed Britannia, and the old Chicago area was renamed Illinois. 1995 saw most of the remaining opening day themed areas get renamed, as Missouri became the 1904 World's Fair, and the USA themed area was now known as Time Warner Studios. And coming with that, the Buccaneer was renamed Joker Inc., and the addition of Batman the Ride, a B&M cloned invert. This one's slightly different though, because it is a mirror image of all the others. The Time Warner Studios name only lasted a year, and in 1996 the area was renamed Warner Studios Backlot. So by 1997, the only themed area that had survived from opening day up until this point was Spain, and that got its bullet in the head when that became DC Comics Plaza. But much more importantly that year, the park's name changed, as the Over Mid-America moniker was dropped, and the park moving forward would be referred to as Six Flags St. Louis. 1998 saw Time Warner back out of the theme park game, and they sold all the Six Flags properties to Premier Parks for $1.8 billion. And of course, because of that, the Warner Studios Backlot name was now simply referred to as Studio Backlot. But also that year, we got the addition of a Premier Rides launched roller coaster, Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast, standing 218 feet tall and shooting riders 0 to 70 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds. My personal favorite ride in the park. The following year, in 1999, the park saw the biggest investment it's made in its history still to this day, with the addition of a 12-acre water park known as Six Flags Hurricane Harbor. It cost $17 million to construct, and it's included with your park's admission. The new millennium saw Premier Parks rename itself to Six Flags Theme Parks Incorporated, and also that year the park added The Boss, a 122-foot tall wood monster manufactured by CCI. This thing is f***ing rough, it hauls, but it's a lot of fun though. In 2002, the park added Scooby-Doo Ghost Blasters, the mystery of the scary swamp. It's a dark shooter manufactured by the beautiful people at Sally Corp, but this one was pretty cool because you got on a boat and most of the ride took place on water. Unlike most Sally Corp dark rides, the wife and I got a chance to ride this right before it closed, and we were both in agreement. We thought this was pretty fucking cool. It was one of our favorite dark shooters. 2003, the park received a super unique flat ride, and we're talking about Excalibur. Manufactured by the Fabri Group out of Italy, and this ride had a pretty storied past, as it toured all of Europe from its inception in 1992 all the way till 1998 when Six Flags purchased it. They set it up at Six Flags Great Adventure, where it operated for 3 years as Evolution, before relocating the ride to Six Flags St. Louis, where it operates still today, and is still in my all-time top 10 favorite flat rides. 2005 saw the removal of Tom's Twister. 2006 saw the park receive a 230-foot tall Intamin drop tower known as Superman Tower of Power. This coming over from the recently closed Six Flags Astro World, where it operated as Dungeon Drop. Also that year we saw the closure and removal of the kids area Looney Tunes Town. 2007 we got the addition of Tony Hawk's Big Spin, a Gerstlauer spinning coaster, which, I mean, you can't go wrong with those. Small footprint, still pack a punch. Also in 2007, we saw the Moon Antique Cars track significantly shortened. That's because the following year in 2008, there was a new roller coaster moving in right next door to it. And that was a GCI compact wooden coaster known as Evel Knievel, which is right up there with Mr. Freeze for being the best coaster in the park. Now, it was around this time in the country's history where our financial system almost collapsed entirely. And of course, Six Flags, being Six Flags, they felt this pretty heavily. And in 2009, they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. But the following year in 2010, they successfully re-emerged from it. 2011 saw Evel Knievel get renamed to American Thunder. Also that year, we saw the park receive a 236-foot tall FUNTIME Star Flyer known as Sky Screamer. They're at a ton of Six Flags parks now, all over the place. This one, at Six Flags St. Louis, was the very first one opened. 2012 saw Tony Hawk's Big Spin get renamed to Pandemonium, and the following year in 2013, the park received Boomerang, a Vekoma Boomerang hand-me-down from Six Flags Over Texas, where it operated for 23 years there as Flashback. And at the time this video is being made, is still the newest roller coaster, quote newest, Six Flags St. Louis has received. That's criminal. You should be ashamed of yourself, Six Flags. 2014 saw the park add Tsunami Soaker, a mock ride's twist and splash. They're a simple little ride. You spin in a circle, you shoot each other with water, but they're still a blast. It always brings a smile to my face. Now, what did not bring a smile to my face was when it was decided by the end of that year to close Scooby-Doo Ghost Blasters, The Mystery of the Scary Swamp, because like I said, I loved that ride. But that's because that building got a huge makeover, and the following year we got the addition of Justice League, The Battle for Metropolis. This one a 3D dark shooter with a lot of screen effects. But like I've mentioned in previous videos, I really dig the Justice League attraction, so I got over Scooby-Doo fairly quickly. 2016 we got the addition of a piece of Larson Looper known as Fireball, because every Six Flags park got one. 2017 saw the removal of the Highland Fling, but the addition of a Zamperla Disco known as Spinsanity. Love those rides. 2 years later in 2019 we got the removal of Tidal Wave, but the addition of Supergirl Skyflyer, one of those second generation Enterprise attractions. 2020 we saw the whole country close down, and the park take that downtime to quietly remove 2 attractions, as we bid farewell to Moon Antique Cars, an opening day attraction, and the Superman Tower of Power. And that was replaced in 2022 with a Funtime booster known as Catwoman Whip. Six Flags St. Louis is one of the original 3 Six Flags parks. The company wouldn't exist without it, as it helped grow and stabilize the Six Flags family. This park is considered one of the lower tier Six Flags properties, but I disagree. I consider it more in the middle, as it possesses a certain charm that those quote lower tier parks just don't have. But you could easily spend a full day at Six Flags St. Louis and have a great time. It's an underutilized park within the chain, and Six Flags really should step up and invest more time and finances inside its gates. Thank you guys as always for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, help a fella out, and check out a couple of these other videos if you'd like. We'll see you all next time.